Hi guys. So as Mariana said, this is our last time leading the Emerging Professionals Committee. So I'm really excited to see this committee host its, what, 7th year? I don't know, I'll have to do math. So we started in 2014 as the Emerging Professionals Group. No, as the Emerging Professionals Committee in 2014. We were the group in 2013. So since 2014, we have grown this committee to be something really exciting. We've grown the number of emerging professionals who participate in SPNHC. You know, in 2013, there were a handful of us, but mostly the emerging professionals, the students at that meeting were the ones who had gotten grants. And there was like a group of 13 of us, I think. And then just to see that number grow at every single meeting from then to now, even virtually, has been just amazing. And we started the Emerging Professionals Luncheon in 2015. And that program ran really well. You know, for the last 2 years, it's been a social instead of a luncheon, but we've still had great attendance. Our virtual social had more than 20 people at it, which I thought was really wonderful for, a virtual, like, 5 p.m. people are getting off work and tired, but they came to our social anyway time frame. And our luncheons, the last time we had our luncheon, we capped it at 100 people. All but a handful of those were emerging professionals who were either students or were new to the collections profession and excited to meet people and learn what other people are doing. So just, I'm really looking forward to seeing what Kevin does with the luncheons in the future. And I hope they continue to sell out and be huge events and really foster the sense of community that we have with SPNHC and keep bringing new people in. So that was our task at the beginning. We were supposed to bring new blood into SPNHC. And I'm so happy to have had Mariana help me along the way with that task. And it's been so exciting to get to take a part of a society like I've been able to, and hang out with all of you and get to know everyone. And now I guess we can turn it over to Kevin and let him introduce himself.
Well, all right. Thanks, Carrie. Hi, everyone. So I'm Kevin Crager, and I'm a master's student at Arkansas State, and I work with Travis and Carrie kind of indirectly on certain things because I'm in the bird lab. So particularly, I'm getting my master's in biology, but studying avian ecology and feather mites. So we're actually doing a bit of a feather mite curation workshop today with some of our undergrads, and I had to step away for a little bit. But I guess I first got involved with SPNHC in 2019. I was able to attend the Chicago conference, and it was awesome. I was able to present a couple things, including a specimen spotlight, and really enjoyed that conference. Y'all know how to have fun and do some really cool science. So thanks for that great experience. Otherwise, museum-wise, I've worked with and been vice president for our colleges, our universities, NHC3, so Natural History Collections Curation Club. I'm a TA in the biology department, so we use a lot of the collections we have here for teaching purposes. I'm also part of the superb scholarship program that Travis helped create to bring great funds here to our university. And yeah, my interests in curations are, of course, birds and feather mites and things like that, but I'm generally hoping to expand that and get more involved. Next year, I'm taking courses in different departments to get my museum studies certificate on top of my master's here at Arkansas State. So definitely wanting to get into that museum realm. And I appreciate Travis and Carrie for thinking of me for this opportunity to help with that. So looking forward to this and hoping I can fill Carrie and Mariana's shoes and all that they've done. So thanks, everyone.
Thank you so much, Kevin. And one more thing that we would like to say is that we're very excited to have Kevin here, but we also want him to have some help. So if any of you would want to help in any way, either in the committee as a co-chair or recommending someone that could be a co-chair, any way that you can find, we would be really, really grateful, because it is work, especially some of the tasks that we had started. We started losing the capacity to continue working on those things because of our roles and our jobs, like being more involved in social media, or being trying to find people for the blog. So those things take time. And so as many people that would want to help and contribute to this committee would be absolutely amazing. And I want to yield the floor again to Kevin to see if you have any things that you would like to discuss today, or calls for projects, or any of that you would like to start with this committee. And also, we were having some conversations from the previous meeting about mentorship. So some of those conversations also, if it's something that we're interested in, can bleed into this meeting. But I want to give the meeting back to you, Kevin.
All right. So yeah, I definitely think like luncheon should, of course, continue. Like I went to the luncheon, it was great. Got to meet an emerged professional and talk with her. So that was really awesome. I appreciate that opportunity. Yeah, hopefully we can get the blog back up and running more regularly. That'd be nice to have some help. So I definitely agree with all that. And I guess the only thing I have so far, of course, I'm still just getting my footing in all of this, but the only thing I have so far that was mentioned by someone in last week's Emerging Professionals Committee happy hour social event, she was asking if there was the possibility for more regular social events for emerging professionals. And I think, now that our lives have been revolutionized by virtual meetings, we want to get back to in-person, of course, but I think virtual, maybe a biannual virtual get together between the conferences is something that this committee could achieve, just as a more regular check-in for everyone that wants to keep that network going. And maybe you weren't able to attend the conference and you can attend these virtual meetings or something like that. So I guess that's something I wanted to bring forward, and I guess maybe ask for comments for any other suggestions that anyone else has.
I wonder, I'm interested in the idea of course, not making the barrier to entry too high, but have we discussed, or is it already a standard, or could we consider having the students who receive the travel award become blog authors as like part of the conditions? Please accept this award, it's an amazing thing, and we want you to write about your experience at SPNHC, or your experience in your research lab, or what you do, and write a blog as part of that, as a way to at least annually build in 10 to 15 blog posts.
I think that sounds great, because those are your emerging professionals right there. So getting to hear from them, and people can go and read those and see who's doing similar stuff or who's doing something cool, and what SPNHC has done for them.
They already have to write something for the newsletter, right? At least I think they write something for either the newsletter or they write something for the collections forum.
That is one of their choices. Yeah, either one of those is a choice. Yes, among others.
Would it be okay if that same thing or a very similar thing was also like pushed to the blog?
Well, I was thinking, so like the newsletter is maybe slightly more formal, and certainly collection forum is, right? It's like it's a journal, and presenting at the conference. Those would be like the more professional things, and not that a blog is unprofessional, but you know what I mean? Like the idea that you would have different types of photos and a different style of writing. I'm sort of in favor of it being an additional thing instead of a choice in the choice board. Not to say that a blog is easy to write, because you want to think it through and know your audience and all the different steps that goes into writing a blog. But I worry that it might pull away from the more formal setting of the newsletter or collection forum if it was a choice a choice among these options, instead of like choose among these options that have always existed, plus write a blog post.
Well, one option is to present a talk or a poster. So if you're already presenting, then
Right.
you have, so it's not necessarily that you always have to do a written piece.
Yes.
As one of the options for the grant. But yeah, it is certainly something that it would be really nice to be able to. But also, I think for the newsletter, please correct me if I'm wrong, Elise, it's more about your experience at the conference, right? And a workshop.
Right.
The blog
Right.
post can be about your work and your collection. So it's a different topic that you'd be writing about. So I think they can work together. There is no need for it to sound like you're just writing the same thing in two different languages, if you wish. Also, speaking of languages, that is something that we should consider, because if we're going to require people to write things, we have to be able to give them support to help them, if English is not their first language, turn that written piece into something that everybody is comfortable with, especially authors, because if English is not your first language, maybe you're not very comfortable writing in an informal, because sometimes you learn about, you learn how to write academic writing, but writing informally is a little harder. So I think if we provide this kind of support, it would be really great.
That would be a great chance for me to practice. I have a BA in Spanish as well as biology, so I can do some Spanish on that front.
Also, it would be kind of nice to, if they are in another language, to have it posted in both, to have it posted in the Spanish, if it's Spanish speakers, and then in English as well, and have both of them go up on the post, because that would be nice for somebody who goes up on the spinach that maybe English isn't their first language, or they're struggling with English, to have it to be able to read. And that would be a nice option. Just a thought.
I really like that idea, Carol. And that's something they do already in the collections forum. The abstracts are in English, but then if it's another language, they're printed in the other language as well. So
yeah, a lot of the journals that I'm writing in now are asking for the abstract is in both English and in Spanish at this point. So the the abstracts go out so everybody can read the abstracts. But I was thinking with the blog, I don't think I've seen it in bilingual, so to speak, a blog, and it would be kind of neat to have that. Anyway.
One thing I was going to try to bring up at this meeting too, before we end or whatever, is I was thinking it would be really great if there was a way for emerging professionals to search members who are willing to like put themselves out there for just even like some kind of informal communication via email or something, like, I do XYZ, and if you're interested in XYZ, just contact me. And that way it'll give maybe people who are a little more introverted a chance to like reach out to people who are already professionals and get some advice and things like that, without necessarily having to do face-to-face stuff, because I know that can be a little intimidating for some people. Or people go to a meeting and they're like, well, I didn't interact with that person. That would be nice to check in with them after. And I know we have member lists and stuff like that, but
well, I don't know, this is maybe left over from the last committee meeting, but it might apply here too. But Just my experience with the Geological Society of America with emerging professionals, we did it both. I've done it both in at the regular meetings and then Zoom meetings, and we normally have a bunch of tables with emerging professional students at them, and then the mentors walk from table to table after 15 minutes, and the students can ask them, and that way they get to meet a bunch of folks all at once. And we did the same thing in Zoom, where we just had 4 or 5 people on one Zoom call answering questions from students. They had a bunch of questions we were supposed to answer, and then they sort of fed us lines and or questions, and we answered, and then the students could chime in at any point. And that way they get to meet a lot more people, and some familiar faces when you're walking in the hallway or down into the lecture hall.
Yeah, that's kind of the spirit that we had in the luncheon. Each table has an established professional, and then the emerging professionals, they just sit down and they have lunch, but they can also walk around and change tables at any point. And that's what we tried to recreate with the breakout rooms during our socials last year and this year. And I think it's a great way, because a lot of people do move from breakout room to breakout room, and it's a great opportunity for people to not only meet these established professionals, but also interact with the emerging professionals that are also there. So you will meet all these different people that are also in different paths than yours, because maybe you're interested in invertebrate zoology, but you're talking to someone who's in botany, and you still have a lot of things in common, and then you have a great experience in the conference. So it's a great way that we really enjoyed, and we're definitely welcoming any other suggestions and ideas.
I would like to add that if the ongoing Emerging Professionals Committee has any kind of assistance or work or help that they think that Professional Development Committee can give them, please let us know. Because that's what PDC is there for. Right, Travis?
Yes. That's why it's good that these meetings are back to back. I know we've discussed that as well. I remember in 2019, Anna Monfils was talking about 2 important committees. We had talked about shuffling the committee meeting times, because they used to, I don't even know what's going on in the virtual meeting, but they used to overlap in a way that certain, you have 2 interests, like I'm interested in long range planning and I'm interested in professional development, and they're meeting at the same time or something like that. But it's nice to have professional development, mentorship as a subcommittee of that, and emerging professionals not overlapping but near each other, because it's important for the folks thinking about how we can professionally develop these guys, and then their voices are right there, right? So if we're only meeting once a year, I know Kevin has an idea to meet more than once a year within his group, but that's the other. It's just hard. It's hard, like Mariana said, it's hard to rummage up blog post writers and it's hard to prioritize this organization off cycle. Right? Like we're all busy doing a million things. And so, but this is an important organization, and I've seen it change people's lives in the examples I've already given today. And so for that reason, I'm committed in spirit, though it's hard to prioritize the effort. And so anything we can do to streamline that and work together and communicate with each other regularly, set deadlines. Jeff, I know you wanted to have a timeline set for our goals, which we didn't get to that, right? Okay. But that's not our meeting anymore. Our meeting ended.
That's what emails are for.
I will say I was my department's department chair for 2 years. And when I left that position, I had 1,500 flagged emails that I at one time thought were important and never was able to deal with. And now I maintain somewhere between 30 and 50 flagged emails. So I'm doing way better. I'm a recovering administrator.
I was going to mention that I would love to see a blog post with a translation in Malagasy. We have some work our paleontologists do with in Madagascar, and they've encouraged young professionals there and have mentored them there in digging up dinosaurs. And some of the words are fabulous, fantastic. I wish I could pronounce them.
Yeah, I would definitely be happy to make that happen if we can source appropriate translators.
Something we really need is we need a new blog editor. Katie McComas did this whenever the blog was first created. And I mean, it doesn't need to be the entire burden of the blog falling onto one person, but if there is one person who can be like a primary contact who's collecting the names of the people who want to do blog posts, and like kind of, once a month they spend like even 15-30 minutes thinking about like the blog, and like reminding Kevin to get the blog together, or getting the team together, or whatever it takes. It's really helpful. So that was nice. And whenever Katie was the editor, she was listed as the blog editor for the Emerging Professionals Committee's Cracking the Collections blog. So that was a really nice distinction for her. And then, we all helped her with the work, absolutely. So it wasn't like it was a huge burden, but just kind of be thinking about that. If you enjoy like blogs at all, if you're a little bit good at technology, it doesn't take a lot to get the blogs posted on there. It does have to be done by a person who has blog like permissions. So usually that's someone within the committee will have permission to actually go in and edit the blog. And we would take turns on who was going to be the one that actually posted it. So it's not that bad, but it's not something that Kevin can do totally on his own. Step up, please. Talk to Kevin.
Kevin, one thing that I think it would be very useful is if you shared your email in the chat, so that everybody here knows how to contact you. And if we have names of people that would be interested in helping with the blog, helping with social media, being a co-chair, whatever, we can start sending them your way, or if someone wants to volunteer. So anyway, that's something.
Do we have a sign-in sheet thing? A sign-in document to share?
I made a little Google thing that I can pass around.
Yeah, send that out.
Okay, 1 second.
And one thing you don't automatically think of when you become a co-chair is that, or in this case, only chair, is that now at every spinach meeting, at every interaction that you have with any spinach people or any emerging professionals, you're going to say, hey, do you want to join my committee? Do you want to get a job in the committee? So it's kind of your mission now to like go out and collect more people.
I think you need to change the access on the sign-in sheet.
I knew that would be a problem.
It always is with these things.
And thank you, Jesse.
And that there's a sign-in sheet at the early part of the meeting from the Professional Development Committee. You know, we started the meeting an hour ago, and that got posted twice. And I noticed someone there were a notes and comments section, and looks like Nicole Seaton says she would like to assist with the blog too. So we got to make sure that we cross-pollinate our sheets here across the two meetings.
Wait, now I can access, but I can't edit.
Oh, we love technology. Hmm. Okay, try now. Fingers crossed.
And Elise posted the Professional Development Committee sign-in sheet again. If you are still on the call and didn't sign in for that meeting, sign that one too. And then Kevin, we're going to the same link and trying yours. Yep. That's hilarious to watch everybody sign in a straight Google Doc at the same time. It's like mice running across the floor or something.
It is quite funny.
I almost made a Google Sheets, so like an Excel, and then I was like, oh no, this will be fine. I knew better.
So far, we have Jesse who's interested, and Nicole Seaton is the one on the other list who says they're interested. Nicole. If either of you are interested in being like co-chair or blog editor, these are the big positions still out there and available that I will, I've got no minutes left that I have to be in charge of getting those positions filled. Officially, forever now, it's Kevin's responsibility.
Oh wow. So yeah, step up.
I don't think there's anything scheduled after this meeting, so if you want to run over a little bit, that's fine.
That's correct, Cindy.
Thank you, Cindy.
Okay.
Oh, thank you,
Both
Jesse.
Carrie and
Jesse, do we have your email?
Oops.
If not, I can track her down.
Okay, so
I have Jesse's email. She put it in the chat for me. Yes.
right. So Kevin, I would recommend to you to email Jesse and email Nicole, because Nicole indicated they wanted to do a blog post, and just follow up and see what they want to do, how involved they want to be.
Definitely. I told both of them that I would be contacting them. So
Perfect. Yeah, and if anyone else is interested and you're on this Google Doc, just put in here. Yeah, Jen Bauer said they were interested in helping. Yeah, just put in the Google Doc that you're interested, and Kevin will contact you.
This actually just fills my heart with joy. This is fantastic. And I am really, really excited to see Kevin and co-chairs and blog editors and everybody, how you're going to keep moving this committee forward. Carrie and I will be talking to you about, giving you access to, social media and all of that, offline. So I just want to say thank you to everybody for coming, and thank you for helping us, Carrie and I, be co-chairs of the Emerging Professionals Committee for all these years. I'm just so thrilled to have had the opportunity to serve the society, and I look forward to serving in other ways.
Absolutely, all of that. I'm so excited to have been here and to have helped with this committee, and so excited to see what's next.
Yes, and thank you both for starting it and making it what it is. So excited to take it on.